Good day from our Psychedelic 60s segment. Stay tuned for a tutorial, a guitar tutorial, there's a guitar, on the Beatles' iconic Till There Was You. It was actually written for the Music Man. And in this multi-stream, I'm going to show you about 6 or 7 concepts that'll help you play it, along with other things. So, I shall be right back. 2 seconds.
Play like a pro at String Sound Studios.
There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you. Then there was music and wonderful.
We'll stop there. I'm going to play the whole song later, as usual, later on, so you can look through the whole objectives and everything, and I have them lined up on YouTube. 2 seconds here, 3 minutes and 5 seconds there, and you can go to that. Now, I'm Michael Violette, once again, streaming to you from a variety of platforms. This is a multi-stream, so we're on YouTube, we're on two Facebook channels, a whole bunch of different things, okay? And please subscribe to all social media, all right? Especially YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're on Twitter live too. So not everything does live. Instagram doesn't do, well, it does, but not with this system on powered by a Restream. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I mentioned about 6 or 7 different concepts. So we got a whole bunch of things. We're going to talk about open voicing chords, dotted 8/16 rhythms, chord patterns, okay? For major, for minor, secondary dominance, minor, major, 7th, line cliche, and flat 6 ending. And we're going to talk about all of those things in here. Anyone hear me out there? You see the chat box there? Don't be afraid to ask me any questions, I guess, pertaining to music. And let's try to stick with the song a little bit, but that's okay if you're a little bit out of the song. All right, so again, let's get going. I'm going to zoom in, and you can take a look at everything. And here we go. I'm going to hide behind the chat box. You're new to this. Get right to the chords. All right, so here we go. Now, I mentioned open voicing chords. And open voicing chords allow you, and this is going to be more, you can play them with a band. This is going to be more, I'm going to teach you from the more of the perspective of maybe backing up, you know, another guitar player or singer or thing of that nature. I'm not going to go crazy with bass lines, okay? Playing all kinds of different bass lines as I play. But it's open voicing. The intervals are more spread apart, right? And the other thing, the most interesting thing about this is going to allow you to play very, very smooth because you're going to drag your 4th finger around and the moves become minimal. So rather than play, and again, you're only using 3 notes, not on every chord, but let's just say in general, you're using about 3 notes each chord. So instead of playing a big chord like this, and not that that's wrong. I'm going to show you something a little different than everyone else is showing you out there and learn something about open voicing chords. Then you can use these. So who used this? Freddie Green. All right. Freddie Green, go look him up. All right. Guitar player. With Ellington? Was it Basie? I forget. I'm sorry. My jazz friends are going to kill me. Anyway, let's get started. So we're going to play an F chord. We're going to really do an F6. I know it's an F chord in the score. We're going to do an F chord. And make sure that you know you're going to drag this 4th finger. Now, all I'm doing for this first chord in the intro is I'm playing this, the bass line, the open D string, and this. So I have these notes here. And I play here so you can see everything I'm doing. By the way, this is the first time I use my multi-act. Let you know. the 6th chord will work in the progression even if it's an F major chord. So there you go. You go like this. Now, you're not going to play it like that. You're going to play it all together. You can do it with a pick too. So let me just strum that. But I'm muting this out. Now when I go to the next chord, okay, it's an F sharp diminished 7th. All right? We have an F sharp diminished 7th, and we're using open voicing chords. I'm going to give you 2 ways to play it. You can just go right like this. Excuse me, I think I played a dominant chord there. We want to play the open. Hey, Bill, what's going on? Oh, cut it out. It's a family show, huh? Right. No, we can't. All right, anyway. So when you're doing this here, you have this F chord going on, all right? And then you're going to an F diminished 7th chord here, see? F sharp diminished 7. So you go to an F sharp diminished 7, and you're not moving much. Remember, you're anchoring your 4th finger there, all right? So you're anchoring that there, and you're just moving. Now, 2 ways to play this. So you have this, then this, or this, then this. And instead of jumping around so much when you're doing a big chord like this, and then moving, let's say, to here to a diminished chord, it's smooth. Smooth transition, you can play it very legato. F sharp diminished 7. Then we're going to go to a G minor 7 chord here. Okay? So you have a G minor 7, you have this, you're moving to here, and you go into a G minor 7 chord here, 2, here, and there. So we have 2. See that? Now, again, what's going on with my 4th finger? I'm just going to here. So this is moving like that. I'm staying on that same string, and I'm getting all the harmonies that I want, meaning the chords, right? Here, I'm going to a C7. Here's my C7. If you take a look, I got this, and I have this. This is gonna be kind of a long live stream here, so hang in there, right? I'm on the intro. Now we have this here. Diminished chord, I'm gonna move it up to the minor 7. Look at my fingers, I have this. Sorry, I have this, this, and this. Notice I'm skipping that 5th string. My open voicing chord is telling me that, well, I'm going to play on the 6th string in the 3rd, in the 4th string. Okay? And you're getting all the strong tones of the chord. Now, in the score, yes, it's a G minor. Okay, some of these chords I'm extending and I'm putting minor 7ths in. So just be aware of that. All right? But I wanted to teach you open voicing. So I have this here. All right? I'm going to take that same shape that I have here on the G minor chord. And I'm going to move that up to 6th position. See that? So it retaining the same shape here, moving to here. G minor to here. So my intro goes like this. Slow. Here's your verse. Come in with that F chord. Again. We'll do it slow. G minor. Here. Let's take a look at the intro again. All right, then I'm going to talk a little bit about the bass line. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the intro. I'm going to do the verse. We'll learn the chords. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing as rhythmically. Okay? Right now I'm keeping it simple. Here's my introduction. F. Verse. Back to the F. Watch, 2 beats here on the F. A minor, A flat minor, G minor, to the C7 and F. So let's take a look at the verse one more time. When we're playing these minor 7 chords, I'm retaining that shape. G minor, right? Go to B flat, back to the F. A minor, it's the same shape. A flat minor, A minor 7, A flat minor 7, G minor. So I have this descending bass line here. Here's your verse, nice and slow. G minor. Yeah. G minor. C7. Back to the verse. Let's talk briefly about the rhythm that I'm doing, all right? Or a little bit more about the rhythm. So here we go. Now, I'm playing this, if you listen to them play, okay, they have this dotted 8th, 16th thing, like, not on that chord so much, all right? So if you're playing it from here. However, I'm kind of throwing the bass line, and you can play it that way too. So let's take a look. Listen to this rhythm. I'm just going to play the bass line. I'm in the verse. I'm past the intro. So more for the purpose of rhythm. Right? So I'm just playing some chords so you can hear that bass line. So it's ba, 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 ba. Ba, listen again. When I do the chords, you can strum it, but I'm doing it finger style. So I'm picking from the bass line and getting this. Okay? I play all this together. That's the same thing if you strum it, right? I'm just doing an F7 chord or any chord, right? And then C7. Da, 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 da. All right, so again. To B flat. Depending on where you are in the song. All right, so that's more about the rhythm. Again, I'm gonna play the chords all from the verse, all the way through the verse once. They're the first ending. Then we're gonna talk about the second ending in the bridge, harmonically what's going on. So far, remember what we do. Let's just review a couple things. We're reviewing the open voicing chords. I'm dragging my 4th finger around. So we have the open voice, right? And my open voicing chords are using less notes than a big F chord like that. Or a big F7, yeah, if you do an F7. So you're going to stay out of the way of everyone else because you're utilizing less notes. When you put all these notes in this chord, you're doubling. All is bad. Sometimes you want that sound, okay? But you're doubling and tripling some notes. And if someone's soloing over that, they're going to bump into you. So basically, you want to avoid that with this situation. I'm just one situation, okay? You can use open voicing chords on anything. They're used a lot in, jazz players, because the chords are going by so fast, at breakneck tempos. So Freddie Green came up with this system, I guess, and so he could just. Well, put bass lines in there. It works nice with the bass line too, right? So you go. So there's a lot going on, and instead of jumping, because you're not going to sound smooth. This is a smooth way to play, especially when things are going quick. Is this song overly fast or overly busy? No, but I thought it was a good opportunity to show you more a jazzy way to play. It is jazzy to begin with. A jazz technique, let's say, with this song, because it's not overly busy and not overly fast. All right, and it can be used in a lot of situations. All right, now we're going to go into the bridge section. Okay, when he goes, I hear music, you do the verse twice. Then you go to the F6 chord, right? Then you're going to have an F7 chord. Okay? You're going to have an F7 chord here. It's really F9, but I'm not going to do that. All right? We do an F7, F7, 9 chord. Then we're going to go to a B flat chord, but I'm not going to play the B flat chord like this. Okay? I'm going to play it like this with an open voicing chord. It sounds like a 70 point. Well, actually, I'm not sure when the Beatles did this. I think they did do it in the 70s, but it's more Latin, Bill, so it's actually was written, I believe, when was Music Man written, since you're asking? In the 50s. Who's it? Shirley Jones, probably, it was considered one of the best musicals ever written, The Music Man. A lot of good music in it. I believe it was written in the 50s, and then the Beatles redid this so many years later, 20 years later. But if you listen to the Until There Was You, Shirley Jones, the Partridge Family lady. Not that there's anything wrong with it. There's like, there'll be bells. It's very operatic the way she did it. So go listen to it. Well, I'm going to play the whole thing later. And I'm going to do the solo later on. Oh, I shouldn't have told him that. He'll be back on. I'm going to do the solo at 5:15. I'll play the solo, but I'm not going to do a lesson on the solo. Nevertheless, we go to the second ending, and you have this. Now, what do? We want to go to the F7 chord. So here's my F7. I just put this down like that. There you go. Remember, I'm playing the 6th string to here. Okay? There you go, those notes. 6, 5, and 4. F, 6 chord, F7. All right? At least Bill's on, and he's watching. Some of the comments are out there, but all right. So I got to go with the flow here. I'm going to shut down and ban him, Posada Ingrata. It is a family show. This is made for kids. Anyway. So we have F7. Now I'm going to go again to that B flat chord. Nice open voicing chord. My 4th finger stays here. This goes here. All right? It's big. By the way, I'm using my multi-act guitar. Okay? If you notice, it's a big guitar. I love it. It's, for electric classical. You can use it for anything. That's why, Latinish. That's why I decided Latin pop, whatever. That's why I decided to use it. It has that Latin feel, okay? Electric, acoustic. It's also what you call MIDI compatible, so I love it. Anyway, here, F7, we go to B flat. Then we're going to go to a B flat minor. Back to this chord. Like the G minor or anything else, the minor 7. So I got a B flat major. Look at that. From here to here. 4th finger staying on that 3rd string. There's my B flat chord. Then I go B flat minor. My bridge. Okay? Then I'm going to take it back to the F6. D7. All right, we can do the D7 like this. Instead of this, we can add that on. It's easy enough. I'm doing this. Now I'm doing 5th string. So a lot of this has the 5th string root or the 6th string root, but notice my 4th finger is sliding around again. Okay? So let me do that from the 2nd ending, the F chord. Ready? 3, 4, slow. F9. B flat minor. F. So we have this kind of chord pattern here, this 1, right? 5, 7 of what we call 4. I'm talking about the 2nd ending in the bridge. And that was one of our concepts. So let's review again. We talked about open voicing chords, Freddie Green Style. We're talking about the dotted 8th, 16th rhythm. We talked about the chord pattern, the 1, sharp 1 diminished, okay, to the 2 chord, to the 5 chord, and we're in F, obviously. We're in F, okay? And this diminished chord, just a brief touch on that theoretically, this diminished chord, why it works going to the G minor is because it's very closely related to the G minor, like a D7 chord, right? Where's this going to go? Well, not all the time, but D7 goes to G minor. We're doing here is we're doing the diminished chord. So I'm going back to that. Right? Diminished chord. Oh, that's like a D7 chord, isn't it? I have an F sharp in the bass because it's diminished chord, but it's very close. Right? I have my E flat, which is not in a it's not in a D7. However, the A is in the C. It's a D7 flat 9. So it functions. The diminished chord functions like a 5 chord. Okay. That, if I did this, that's this. All right, this is this. Same type of thing. All right, so we're gonna do, we're gonna get up to the line cliche. So we reviewed a little bit. I'm gonna take it from the 2nd ending and I'm gonna play through the line cliche. Okay, we have a G minor major 7th to a G7 type of line cliche. I'm going to play through that, and we'll stop there, and I'll explain that. So from the 2nd ending again, 3, slow. Stopping on a C7. So let's take a look at that G minor. That line cliche, right? What's happening here? We're doing a G minor chord, and the line is going like that. Take a look, that's on the C7 chord. So if you hear this line, the bass line of the chord's not changing, G minor major 7th sound, okay? To a G7, which brings me to a C7 chord. So again, I have this. Here's what you're hearing, folks. Now I'm going to play it from the G minor. So I got my G minor chord here. Okay. And I changed the fingering a little bit because I'm not putting my 4th finger here. But notice on my G minor chord, I'm doing this. I am doubling, doing that octave. Okay. And my line is going to drop. Here's my minor major 7th chord. Okay. So now I got this. these are open voicing type chords, but I just got away from dragging that fourth finger from a moment. I could do it that way, but I'm not going to have to switch the third string because there's no other way to do it. And again, you can strum this stuff too and mute notes if you wish. Right? It's a C in there. G7 chord, back to this. 1, 2, 4. Then we're going to go to C. Or C7, you play like this. Here's your C7 chord, right? 3, 2, 4. Then we're going to go to what you call an augmented chord. Now I can't play this chord, well I can, but I can't play it with this, you know, coming from this voicing. Okay? I have to get the fourth finger up, but it's still fairly simple. If I'm coming from a C7 chord, then I go to this C augmented chord. Here's my augmented. Now, the augmented chord is the opposite of diminished. When you have a diminished chord, things diminish becomes less. Obviously, you know, when we augment things, right, Bill? They become bigger. All right, so we have this here. And the chord is built C, E, G sharp. I'm putting the C on top here. C, E, G sharp to C. So I got this. See that? My G sharp. So things are further out. We know a C chord has the open G. Think of a C chord. Open G. Then I have this. So I'm putting that down. And I'm doing a capo, small capo here so I can get the high C. All right. Let's play from that line cliche, and then I'm going to get back to the verse. But you already know the verse. All right? So if you get through the first page of this, the first verse, the bridge, then back to the verse, it's pretty much the whole song. I'm going to jump over. I'm not going to keep playing the verses and the bridge again. All right, I'm going to jump to the end and show you some what's going on there with the flat 7 chord. So once again, all right, we talked about open voicing chords, Freddie Green Style, the dotted 8/16 rhythm. All right, with the eighth notes. Chord patterns. We talked about the 1 sharp, 1 diminished. All right, and we also talked about the 4 major, the B flat, to the 4 minor. All right, and I'm going to discuss secondary dominance in a minute, okay? So let me just play a little bit here. I'm going to take it from the second ending and go back to the verse. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Bridge. 4 major, 4 minor, F. Diminished. There'll be bells. He's back to that. One more time, then we're going to talk about a little bit about what secondary dominance are. So I just want to show you the chords. All right? I don't just want to show you the chords. I want to explain a little bit about the theory, and I've been doing that as we go along here. So here's my F chord. 1, 2, second and 3, 4. Back to the verse. Let me briefly touch on what secondary dominants are. Right? I'm not playing, I'll drop the guitar. The secondary dominants are kind of a temporary displacement of key, meaning they're going to a chord in the key. We're in F, right? And what's F's 5 chord? Well, C7. Okay. Well, let's say I want to go to the G minor chord. So what we're doing is we're using the 5 chord, okay, secondary, we call this 5-7 of 2. And we're playing a D7 and going to the G. All right, D7. So we're not really leaving the key. We're doing secondary dominance, substitution chords, right? And we go to the G minor. Because this goes to some kind of G. In this case, we're still in F. So we're not really leaving the key. We're kind of doing a temporary displacement of it, if you wish. D7 is not in the key of F. So we call it secondary dominant 5-7 of 2. F chord, right? F. We're on an F scale. F. What's the second degree? Well, G. If we go to G, what's the 5 of G? If you know you're in the key of G, okay, right? Simple G chord. Then we go D7. All right, so there's my D7. What I'm doing is I'm playing again the D7 secondary dominant. Then I go to G minor without leaving the key of F. So I'm analyzing that in the key of F, and that's kind of a secondary dominant. Let's say any chord. Or think about any chord in that key. All right, let's say we're in A minor. All right, I can put an E7 in there. Then I go to A minor. Okay, 5-7 of 3. Not the most popular thing, but can be done. And then, of course, you have the chord patterns. All right, the chord patterns, as I explained to you before, make sense because they're logical and they're kind of like substituting other chords, like the F sharp diminished. Okay? That 1 we call sharp 1 diminished, 2 5 chord pattern. Okay? And these things are done in music all the time, not just jazz or blues or rock. If you analyze your classical pieces, they have all these things. Okay? Jazz gets a little more, advanced jazz gets a little more out there with the different chord changes and substitutions. All right? But that's what you have on the chords. So now, I'm going to jump over to the end. Okay? I'm going to jump over to the end for you. And we're going to talk about what's going on at the end. Not that difficult if you got most of the song down already, all those chords down already. The end should be fairly simple. All right? In open voicing. So let's go to the end. Here's what I'm doing. I'm back on my F chord, the last 2 lines of the song, last 8 bars, let's say, or the last 7. All right? F chord, you got 2 bars of that. F6 I'm playing. Now I'm going to go to a C, but I'm going to bring that C up to here. Okay? See that from F all the way up to C. This is the same voicing as the B flat chord here. Okay? So up to here, C7 to an E7 with a B in the bass, I ought to go back a half step. Now this is 2 beats in the measure each. 2. Oh, I'm overstretching. Okay. Here, 1, 2. Then go back to the C. And again, from the F. 2, 3, 4. E7 with the B. Then I'm going back to a C. Then I'm going to the F. I can do an F up here, but I'm keeping it the same. All right? C. Back to the C. F. Now we have this. D flat 7. Goes back to the F. This is what we call the flat 6. I'm in the key of F. All right, my 6th chord would be like a D minor in the key, D minor 7. Okay. This is a flat 6. And it sounds great going to the F. So here's your flat 6. You play D flat 7, okay? And these notes are going down here. We've got a lot of the notes, clean notes, and we go into a C here, right? And this is jumping back to here, to that A. So that B is going to A, right? And this you could say is staying the same. It's in the chord. So you have a lot of those strong notes. And this D flat, of course, is going to C. That's why that works. That's popular in a lot of music too. Well, basically, if we review again, we're going to review backwards. All right, we have a flat 6 ending. We did the minor, the line cliche. Okay, minor chord to a minor major 7 to a dominant G7. So here again. All right, we talked about secondary dominance. I'll give an example, D7, going to G minor. And we talked about the 4 major, 4 minor. Here's your 4 major. In that key of F, simple, right? 4 major, 4 minor. Next, we talked about these chord patterns. F6, diminished chord, see that? G minor. We also talked about this rhythm. Ba, 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 ba. 1. All right. And again, you can strum the chords. Right? So if you're doing, you're not be strumming that, just you're muting things. Okay? I'm only strumming up to the 3rd string, leaving tones out in the chords. This way, if you're playing a solo or you're playing with a piano player, you got to be careful playing with piano players too. It's hard to play with a piano player because of the ranges and registers of the 2 instruments combined. And of course, again, going backwards, we talked about open voicing chords. That's one of the main key things, open voicing chords and Freddie Green Style, right? And we're talking about Freddie Green Style, how he played utilizing these chords so he could bop around. What happened there? So, you know, here, and then jump in here. And so, very smooth playing, especially at fast tempos. All right, well, you're just going to play the chords. I guess I could throw the solo in there, too. And we will be back later. We'll be back later for the 70s. Solo. I believe this was in the 70s, okay? Now, Bill up there seems to know more than me. Okay, I'm going to play the solo in here. Till There Was You. Here we go. Ready? 2, 3, 4, 2. No, I'm going to stop that a minute because I want to zoom out and do it so you can see more what I'm doing. Covered a lot today, folks. And I'll zoom out even more. Here we go. There's my microphone up there. All right, you like my multi-act, huh? Yeah, there you go. Nice guitar, right? First time I used it on this, so it's a little tough getting the sound. All right, here we go.
There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you.
7. Bridge.
There was music and wonderful roses, they tell me, in sweet fragrant meadows. too.
There you have it, folks. Okay, so you did well today. We all did well today. Bill, if you're still there, have a happy 4th of July. And that goes for everyone else. Have a nice 4th of July. It is July 1st today. This is 2022. So we got a nice 4th of July weekend coming up here. We are on an Eastern Standard Time. And if you're watching this later, that really doesn't matter. You can always watch these again. All right, so join me next time for another live stream. Not sure what I'm doing. I'm thinking of doing an alternative one. All right, an alt. Maybe an REM tune. Not sure, 100%. Okay, got a few things lined up. And please sign up for my Play Like a Pro video courses. All right, stringsoundstudios.com. You can get the pure beginning guitar course, beginning blues course, the midway course, and a ukulele course. I hope to do more of those in the future. Send feedback here, except for Bill's type feedback. That's all good. All right, so send feedback. Let's try to stick with music here, all right? And through String Sound Studios. And if you want me to do something, let me know. I'll try to do it. All right. So have a good day, and we shall see you later. Come back for 5:15, folks. At 5:15, doing the solo for this. Thank you. Have a good day.
Pro at String Sound Studio.